So we are kind of aware that enterprise organizations usually have a legal team, IT team, HR team, and they have a certain structure, right? So most of the times they're not when a compliance or a framework or a standard has to be implemented. Each of the activities can be given to separate team or a separate point of contact to take care of it, right? But talking about SMBs, small and medium scale businesses, or worst case, let's talk about startups.
Okay, less than 50.
Say 5-member team or a 10-member team, or teams they don't even assemble in office, they all work from remote places, right? So such scenarios, right? So usually what happens, each of them point the finger at each other, right? For evidence collection, gap, whatever, right? So in that case, founders usually have a mentality saying, let's first focus on the product, let's first focus on the business, let's first focus on making money, and then let us focus on compliance, right? So what is your take on this, Som? Is that the right approach?
Okay, honestly, I may not say it as a right approach, because now there's a change in the mindset as well, as I said earlier. Even startup founders today, they know the value of security. Everybody is knowing the awareness. Everybody knows what needs to be done towards compliance. So they don't see it as two different business lines. Okay, they have started to inbuild security into their product as a way of life, and including privacy, including data protection, everything. So there's not going to be a lot of time which would be needed to do all this. And fixing things earlier is always cheaper, specifically with respect to cybersecurity and data privacy and data protection.
Got it. Yeah, I totally agree with the statement. Fixing things early is always cheaper, right?
Right. And it's the best thing as well.
Yeah. But what if I'm a company and for some reason I did not pay attention to compliance earlier,
right,
but right now
you want to do that?
I really genuinely want to work on process improvement and security posture improvement, and not just for the certification.
Right.
In that case, say I want to be a changed person now, changed man now.
All right.
Right? Is it okay that I can get started even today?
Absolutely, you could definitely, and it's a good thing to know that organizations are willing to change today. Either it could be a forced one, or it could, when I say forced one, due to the privacy laws, two, due to the stakeholders or the board expectation, 3, it could be even from the customers. So having said that, the first step to start is your data mapping, and then do an access review, followed by people awareness and training. If you could do all these 3 things in tandem, you are definitely ahead of your competitors.
Got it. Say, I being a 1990s or 80s kids, right? So at some point in time, we all had certifications that we were fond of, right? Mm-hmm. People do Microsoft certification, Cisco certification. People would be proud to call them a CCNA certified person and so on, right?
True.
I'm talking about those days.
Golden days.
Yeah. But eventually that certification model from individual has shifted mainstream for companies.
Right.
Today, companies have to be ISO 27001 certified, or 9001 certified, 14001 certified, so on, right? So when a company is said to be a DPDPA certified, right? What kind of an impression does it give to its customers?
A lot, in fact, okay? Right from your credibility, it's all, certain things are intangible, right? You have to take that into account, You build a lot of trust, which would in turn reflect in your end of the year, it would reflect in your books. So that is what typically the CXOs would want to look into, and they'll be more interested towards that. Trust, and then the mature way of working. We would always call it as WOW, the way of working. That's how security and data has to be imbibed into your way of life.
Got it. Okay. So, having said, your experience has been completely around governance, risk compliance, you being a data privacy officer for quite a few companies, your capacity of a CISO in few companies, right? And I also know that you do that for both enterprises and startups.
Right.
Now, say I am a startup. Say I am a 50-member startup, right? Say I want to I have a mandate from my client saying I need to be ISO 27001 certified.
Okay.
Another client, okay, who asks me to be a SOC 2 certified. Okay. And another client, an Indian client, who says I should be a DPDPA compliant. Right. So let us consider these, hypothetical scenario. Right. Okay. Case A, case B, case C. Case A, ISO 27001, B, SOC 2, C, DPDPA. Please tell me this, having said I'm a small company, should I be worried that this is out of my possible scope of doing? Like, is it something that even a 50-member company can do? If yes, please tell me tentative timelines that would be required for SOC 2, ISO and DPDPA, and how achievable is it for a company who has not focused much on privacy, security earlier, but genuinely willing to work on it?
Right. Interesting scenario there. Having said that, the tone answer to your question is yes, it's doable, subject to the tone from the senior management, wherein it has to be driven across the team members, saying that it's non-negotiable or non-compromisable. Okay, that will be the first step. Second step, in terms of the timeline you were asking, it's going to be a combination of multiple factors, right from the data you handle, right from the geography you serve, right from the domain which you operate. I would say typically 4 to 6 months, again, in quotes, okay, 4 to 6 months, depending on all these parameters, your team's availability, your team's interest towards doing that, most importantly, the awareness and the how to part.
So ISO 27001 is 4 to 6 months.
I could say a combination of all these, 4 to 6 months, because SOC 2 in specific would need at least 6 months of implementation evidence. I say 6 months. Typically, it would span for a year, but type 2, when you talk about a type 2, you would need a minimum of 6 months implementation activities to be performed.
Okay.
That's the reason I quote always 4 to 6 months. Again, with a lot of star and terms and conditions apply based on your business.
Right. Say I'm a computer science engineer.
All right.
Right. And assume I also want to do a IT engineering, CSE, IT engineering, right, or something related to computer science. So I don't need to relearn all the basics again because I already know.
It's already, right? Yeah, you already have it.
Like that, say I'm ISO 27001 certified. Me doing a SOC 2 certification, it means I have already put some controls, evidences, policies in place, right? So, will it help me to reduce the 4 to 6 months time period?
Obviously, yes. It goes hand in hand. Majority of the controls do have an overlap.
Okay.
So, if you're already at a matured stage or a matured space, this implementation journey would definitely cut down.
Okay. So, say I'm a ISO 27001 and a SOC 2 right now.
Right.
And now I want to go for a DPDPA.
Right.
Right. Will it still cut down the timelines?
Yes, to a certain extent, but now there are two different tracks altogether. This one, that one, ISO 27001 predominantly focuses on info security, and this one we are focusing now on data protection. Yes, there are a few areas which should overlap, but I would say yes to a certain extent, but you would still need a consistent and a continuous compliance implementation if you really want to or realistically want to implement that.
Got it. So thank you, Som. Thanks for giving a heads up there. My next question is, can you shed some light around what are the popular breaches that has happened in the recent past in 2025? Having said we have just started 2026.
Right. Is it specific to India or?
Yeah, if you can shed some thoughts around breaches in India.
Right.
And if it had happened this year versus it has happened before the DPDPA's prerequisites, right? So what difference does it make? And if you can quote some examples, that'd be great.
Yeah, it's definitely, when you ask what impact, yes, the impact is going to be huge. If I may give you a couple of examples. One leading healthcare provider in India, they have been breached and they have been actioned upon to understand what went wrong. Was it due to negligence or was it intentional, unintentional? That case. Second option is a leading stockbroker again, who handles a lot of customer data with respect to your demat accounts. These two were some of the, or I would say, the top two headline grabbing incidents with respect to data breaches.
Okay.
If the question, and if it would have happened after 2020 or after this new
DPDPA.
implementation, impact, yes, would definitely be larger. There has to be a detailed study and a detailed analysis. I'm sure these organizations would have already done it.
Right.
And they would have already fixed it. But the government or the institutions or the regulators are looking into how lethargic are you towards implementing these controls? Are you having these kind of breaches repeatedly? And based on all these parameters, the penalties would vary. It's not like once you have breached, hey, go pay this much upfront. That's not going to be the case.
Got it. Say I want to get into this DPDPA journey, right? I'm pretty new. I want to get into this DPDPA journey. And at this point in time, I absolutely have no idea about DPDPA whatsoever. Right? I'm just as fresh as anyone in the market. Right? But I am under a mandate that I have to get a DPDPA.
You don't have a choice.
Yeah, we don't have a choice. So, I have to get started somewhere, right? So, is there a fast track program possible? I know security is not possible that way, but is there a proven model or a proven, like a playbook or proven methods with you, right? That will enable a company like me to jumpstart the DPDPA journey.
Right. Yes, obviously, as a part of our consulting activities, we do have playbooks for organizations. The primary mantra for us would be to move from ad hoc security to managed security. Okay, that would be the playbook theme, if I may say, wherein you do a lot of associated activities, right from setting up the team, onboarding the members, understanding what could be their security requirements, their privacy requirements, doing a gap analysis, remediations, implementation support, followed by audits. So a lot of associated things which we'd be happy to perform to all our prospective clients as well.
Excellent. So thank you very much, Som. So before we close, is there any final remarks and thoughts you would like to share?
Yes, of late, there have been a lot of questions related to how quickly can I do, or how quickly I would need to do this, just because the customer wants it, or just because
every other customer asks the same question.
And the end date is yesterday or day before yesterday, right? Making use of all these things, now we do see a lot of sales and marketing pitches which says, hey, come enroll or onboard with us and get your DPDPA in 15 days.
Yeah, I get that quite often.
Right. Yeah. So that's a sales pitch.
So genuine question. Is that possible? Like get your SOC 2 or ISO in 10 days. Is it possible? Is it doable?
In practical terms, no. But in theoretical or as per paper, if you would just want to do a tick box thing, yes. But what is the value that would add to your organization and to your board and to your investors? It's absolutely not going to help anybody, right? So you definitely not recommend it. Say, assume that you're or of course you are a health conscious person.
Wow. Okay.
And you would want to cut down on your weight.
Okay.
Assume, okay. Would you be doing it on a crash diet? Say, I want to cut down 10 kgs in 12 days, or would you do it in a span of 6 months?
Yeah.
Right? That's the primary difference. You would want to focus on something. You would want to take a streamlined approach, a consistent approach. Maybe this crash diet is going to help you at this point in time. Okay. Maybe you could win a contract. That doesn't necessarily ensure you would, build your business. It's not going to work that way. And maybe the 2-minute thing is what the 2-minute noodle, as they popularly call it, as that is the most important thing, or people are obsessed with. Maybe, as I said, it could help you at this point in time, but continuous or recurring business is not going to happen that way.
Okay, got it. It was pretty interesting for an example. Thank you very much for that. And this conversation really gave a good insight to me personally in terms of what is the DPDPA and how important it is, the penalties around it, the breaches that has happened in the past, and if it had happened right now, what would be the impact in hypothetical scenarios of SOC 2, ISO, and the DPDPA, and the crash course about a DPDPA and so on, right? So It was a pretty interesting conversation, and thank you very much, Som, for sharing insights and sharing your 20 plus years of experience in a very simplistic form that we all can understand. And I hope to do more such sessions with you. It
Sure.
is very insightful. Thank you very much for being a part of this session.